Bad news for America. That is unfortunately great news for Lauren Boebert. She appears, at least as of right now, to be rocketing towards re-election and a continued stay in the House of Representatives after a string of negative headlines and personal scandals and ruined theatrical performances had appeared to put her political future in jeopardy. It was bad enough that it made her flee her district, and that is always a risky proposition. But it seems like the gamble is working out for her. So there's this poll that was released this month by Florida-based Kaplan Strategies. It shows 40% of voters surveyed plan to support her in the June 25th primary race to represent Colorado's 4th Congressional District. None of her rivals drew more individually than 5%. So she appears to be far and away leading the pack there. Now, the silver lining in the poll is that 40% of Republican and unaffiliated voters in the poll are undecided, meaning that if one of them can sort of knock out the others and takes all of the undecideds, then they can beat her. That does not seem super likely to happen. So again, kind of good news for Lauren Boebert.
The video will continue in just a moment, but first I have a message for you. TYT needs your help. Membership is vital to survival, so please go to tyt.com/team and become a member today.
It is a quite conservative district, the most in Colorado. It went 58 to 39% Trump-Biden back in 2020. So if she wins the primary, she almost certainly will win the general election, unless there's some sort of massive blue wave that's not currently speculated to happen. And also, she's raised way more than her challengers. So the ability to close the gap is going to be difficult without the funding. She's raised over $4 million. None of the others has raised more than $500,000. And so we're down to about 1 week away. And much of the voting might have already been locked in because Colorado, of course, is all mail ballots. So a lot of people will have already gotten them, perhaps already returned them. So this thing might already be in the bag. But the bag is definitely questionable because, again, it's mail-in voting, which means it's rigged. You can't trust it. That's what I've been told. But Yaz, what do you make of this? You ready for another couple years or maybe decades of Lauren Boebert?
No, thank you. No, thank you. I covered Lauren Boebert's her election and like all of this pretty extensively over on Rebel HQ for a while, to the point that I think I just burned out and just couldn't talk about her anymore. But back then it was very unlikely that she was going to win in her original district. So she jumped to the other district, which was widely seen even within Colorado as a cheap move. They weren't too thrilled about it. They knew what she was doing. They saw through it. She does have a ton working against her though, even in her new very red district. They didn't trust her for switching sides. And then she was a lot of drama and they didn't like that either. They didn't like how she was always in the news for something that was not necessarily politically related. They really, really didn't like what happened in that theater at the Beetlejuice performance. Like that one incident counted so hard against her, way more than anything else that was going on. Her son even is in some drama of his own, which doesn't reflect well on her, at least not with her voters. So, and what was it? 40% of undecided. That is a lot of undecideds. For a district that is as red as it is, and for Bobert, who is as outspoken and as well known as a Republican congresswoman as she is, that's not a great number. So, but you're right. You know, we'll see how things play out at the end of the month, whenever she has her primary. But
so you think there's a chance that she could still lose?
I mean, who knows? Like you never know with these things, and I don't like to make predictions and things like that. But what you see a lot of times is like people who are not very popular will sometimes eke through processes, because in this case, you know, it's her with all the money, all the backing from the Republican Party, because she's already a sitting congressman or congresswoman. She's an incumbent, so she has that going for her. And then it's like her and then everyone else. And then those votes are going to be divided up between all those others. So if the opposition wanted to really do something, they would get all in line behind one person that they wanted to take her on as a challenger. But we haven't seen that yet. And, you know, we're running out of time for something like that to happen.
Yeah, not a lot of time, unfortunately. Well, I guess the joke will be on us. Thanks for watching our video. Did you know that you can support our show by becoming a subscriber? Just click the subscribe button and also ring the bell so that you get notifications when we're live or when we post new content.